to draft day, and hello, and it's episode 39 of the 5-Tool Baseball podcast. And yes, today is the day you've been waiting on. I know Drew has been anticipating this day for a long time. It is the 5-Tool high school player draft. We're going to be drafting two teams, the hashtag Team Dustin and the hashtag Team Bish. We're going to be picking, let's see here, two catchers, a first baseman, second baseman, third baseman, shortstop, four outfielders, a DH, three utilities, four pitchers, and then one player each from the just missed or the follow lists from the 2022 or 2023 5-Tool 55. So these will be all 2022 or 2023 players that we're picking from to build a team that you, the viewer, the listener, will have an opportunity to vote on. And there are huge stakes. Let me say that again, huge stakes, because the winner receives a hoodie from the competitor. Yes, the competitor has to go online and purchase the hoodie of choice of the winning team. That's what's at stake here, folks. But really, it's a fun way to help preview the high school baseball season that's upcoming. It allows us to have fun with the player pool in a different kind of unique way. We'll have some graphics that come out with it as well. But Drew, I mean, how much strategy you put in at this point? Have you overanalyzed? Have you psyched yourself out? I mean, how many people have you removed from your draft board?
I haven't removed many from my draft board. My war room and all my materials are over here ready to go.
Oh, you get
done some mock drafting.
Mock drafting, okay.
Yeah. No, we've done that. And then, but I will say, if you happen to win, you can thank my wife, because she rattled me this morning on a hoodie conversation. So we were getting Coy dressed, and I said, he had a shirt on. I said, do I need to get a sweatshirt to put over that? And she said, you're the only person that I know that wears a shirt under your sweatshirt.
Yeah, she's a psycho.
Yeah. I said, I think you're the only person I know that doesn't wear a shirt under a shirt.
No, you got to go shirt. Like I've got a shirt underneath. Same. Right now. It's always shirt under. I don't know.
But then she follows it up with a hoodie is not a sweatshirt. It's a jacket.
I don't know. That's not right either. So she's
right?
0 for 2. Yeah, that's 0 for 2. No,
I've been rattled all morning.
There's no zip. Jackets have zips.
That was my comment.
Yeah, it's like the old, like, you can't be a fast food restaurant unless there's a drive-through. Like, a jacket has to have a zip, in order to be a jacket, or else it's sweatshirt material. Like, it's just a different style of sweat. Yeah. That's tough. I can imagine that's frustrating. I've got my own distractions in the house. So Jack is home from daycare today. Unfortunately, finally got the dreaded email that somebody in his class had tested positive for COVID-19. Hope that child, whomever it is totally fine, but it just means that he's got to be home until February 1st because he's under 2, and obviously he's not going to wear a mask. So he has to be home for a while. And also too, they our plumbers are filling in a giant hole in the backyard. They found the roots, thankfully, that were in our pipes that were causing some issues. So thankfully that issue is resolved. But if you hear a toddler like banging on the door or making loud noises, or in his car driving around the house or anything like that, I just apologies in advance. I'll try to be a true professional and keep my focus on the screen. But
hey, you may have touched on it, but just a reminder. So this vote will be decided on Twitter.
Yes.
So Jeff will make that Twitter poll live tonight. I think around 7. It'll be open for 24 hours. So if you want to vote for me, that's when it'll be live. If you want to vote for Dustin, I don't think that it's going to be available for a couple days. So
yeah, I actually think if people click my name, they get like balloons come up on the screen or something like that. Something cool to reward the intelligent people of the Twitterverse. But yeah, voting live at around 7 p.m. this evening for 24 hours. You can use those hashtags as well, hashtag Team Dustin or hashtag Team Bish. But well, you've got the first pick. So, and for those of you that are going to be viewing on YouTube, I'm going to try to share my screen here as we go to kind of help you get an idea. And I see Drew's already got the catcher name highlight, the catcher position highlighted here. So I think he's tipping his hand, but let's go ahead and start the clock, and you are on the clock, and we'll basically alternate back or forth from there until we get through the entire draft, and have to add a little commentary as well while we go. But yeah, okay, Drew, go ahead and lead us off.
With the first pick in the 5-tool first annual high school player draft, Team Bish selects Blake Mitchell from Sinton.
Okay. So Blake Mitchell off the board, the catcher from Sinton, also a really, really talented right-handed pitcher. I can't say that I'm surprised at all that he was the first selection. Can't go wrong with that. That is it's kind of like the Joe Burrow selection of this draft. High floor, good opportunity. Those skills are definitely going to translate for sure. So I might have to mix another Sinton player onto my roster to make sure I get some of that fan base vote. But I'm going to go down here to the utility position for my first selection, because this guy's a two-way guy, and I'm going to select Travis Cyclora from Round Rock High School. I don't know where he's going to play in my infield yet, probably end up at third maybe, but I like him coming out of the bullpen late in games to kind of shut down when we have a lead. I like that power bat somewhere in my lineup, and I like that glove potentially filling out somewhere as well. So I'm going to select 2023 right-handed pitcher and infielder Travis Cyclora from Round Rock as my first selection.
Okay. Team Bish, with his second pick, will be going to the mound for left-hander Justin Lampkin.
Okay, the Cal Allen lefty Justin Lampkin, who that stings for me because I am an enormous fan of Justin Lampkin, but I understand here while you're going to the mound to get a left-handed pitcher there, a guy that we've got rated number 2 in the 2022 5-tool 55. So Justin Lampkin there. Well, I'm going to go to the top of that board, and I'm going to grab my shortstop and my guy that's probably going to hit in the 2-hole for me. And I'm going to select Jet Williams, infielder from Rockwall Heath, signed with Mississippi State. I think this guy's the best pure hitter in the state, regardless of class. I think that he can handle the shortstop position. I might be tempted to put him on the mound at some point if I need to, because I've seen it up there in the low 90s, but really I'm getting the bat here. I'm getting the infield ability, and I'm getting some of those intangibles too. The way he carries himself, I think he's going to rub off positively on those hashtag Team Dustin teammates. So I'm going to go with Jet Williams there as my second pick and put him right in there at the shortstop position. A little concern for me because the shortstop position is super deep, but I'm getting the best one right there.
Okay, well, interesting. I think I'm going to go back to the mound.
Okay.
I'm going to go back to the mound, and I'm going to take 2023 right-hander Mason Bixby.
Okay, you're going with the big righty from Johnson High School. A guy that, throws extremely hard, kind of throws like, I don't know if it's one of those invisible type things, but people just really, really have a hard time hitting that fastball. And it helps that he's so big and he throws so hard. But certainly a guy that we're very, very high on. Obviously, we've got a number 3 on our 2023 list. So Mason Bixby off the board there for your third selection. Man, you're going heavy with the arms. Okay. All right. I see what you're doing there. You're going to fill up those arm slots pretty soon though. And I'm going to have my pick of whoever I want that's left. I'm actually going to
you can take them because the best ones will be off the board. So,
okay. We'll see about that. But, I'm actually going to go to the outfield And with my third pick, I'm going to select Tomball Memorial outfielder Jarrett Curtis. I'm going to place him at the top of my lineup right in front of Jet Williams. Those two guys hitting 1-2. Curtis with that true 80 speed that can really, really change games, can fly around the outfield some defensively. I like what I'm getting there. Obviously, in our updated 5-55 for 2022, he made a big jump to number 3 on the list. So I'm going to go there and get my first outfielder for the team in Jarrett Curtis with my 3rd round pick.
And you accuse me of being a homer.
Yeah, so, I didn't anticipate getting 2 of my homer guys there, but you heard me taking Lampkin. That's my guy. So
okay,
I had to respond.
I think I'm going to go ahead and grab my shortstop. I'm going to go with Coppell's TJ Pompey.
All right, 2023 Coppell TJ Pompey, a guy that it's just really smooth. You watch him, he just looks like a guy that has future pro ability with the way he carries himself, and kind of one of those longer athletes, really smooth actions defensively. The bat is starting to stand out some more, some impact and things like that. So yeah, that's a strong pick there. I'm actually going to go to the mound for my first guy, and I'm going to go down to Salina, and I'm going to take right-handed pitcher Noah Bentley, who's committed to the University of Oklahoma. Big time competitor. I like this guy because if I need to get a complete game out of this guy, we've seen it. He's a really good athlete, repeats his delivery, was strong at area code. We saw him, Five Tools got great YouTube video of him throwing a 15 strikeout no-hitter during last year's high school season. I like what this guy's going to give me on the mound. Kind of one of those guys that can help set the tone as well. So I'm going to go with Noah Bentley there as my first arm off the board.
Okay. I like it. He, I was hoping I had him penciled in pretty high. Okay. Well, you've gotten your speed. So I think I'm going to go grab my speed with 2023 outfielder Kendall George.
Ooh, okay. That, in my head, I had considered just getting both him and Curtis in, like, I'm just playing with 2 outfielders, just kind of loading up the infield with my shift and let those guys just go track everything down. So Kendall George, I mean, we've got to set up that race at some point between Kendall George and Jarrett Curtis, just to see who's the fastest of the bunch there. But a guy that can absolutely fly all over the place, down the line, around the outfield, whatever it is. He can really, really run. So Kendall George from Atascocita off the board there from the 2023 class. And tough call. I think I'm going to go back to, speaking of speed, I think I'm going to go back to 2022. And I'm going to grab Ridgepoint infielder Justin Vassos, who we've got ranked number 9 on our 2022 list. I'm going to play him at second base. I think in the future, he's going to play shortstop for Ridgepoint. I think there's a chance he could do that at the next level. But I think the fallback option there is that he'd be a really big time second baseman, plus runner, maybe plus runner, can really get down the line. Fantastic athlete. I think he's just scratching the surface of what he could become. And another guy that's can really get down the line. He's got some juice with the bat as well. So I'm really liking the athleticism on my team so far. And I'm going to slide Justin Vassos in there as my second baseman.
All right. Thank you for doing that, because then I'm going to go back to the outfield and I'm going to take Max Ballou.
Okay. Max Ballou, who made a little bit of a rise up our 2022 list, ranked number 8 there, the outfielder from Aledo. Big time left-handed bat, can really, really stand out there. I mean, I think it's gap power right now, but he's starting to drive it over the wall a little bit more as he kind of grows into that and gets stronger as well. So a nice selection there by Team Bish, because that's a guy that I know we both liked a lot in the fall as well. So that's tough. Well, I think that I'm going to fire back at you, and I'm going to go to first base, and I'm going to select Waxahachie's Jared Thomas. if Jet Williams is not the best pure hitter in that 2022 class, it might be Jared Thomas. Certainly from the left side, just the ability to get on base, hit for a high average, the intangible element as well, the strong defense at first base with that athleticism there. I'm going to go with Jared Thomas there as my first baseman, and a guy that can hit all over the lineup and really give me a strong presence there.
It's too bad you're going to have a guy that's going to be unhappy to be on your team.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, well, I think I'm going to round out.
Well, I think he'd probably be unhappy that you waited how many picks and you didn't select him? I mean, I'm getting him in the 6th round. Seems like the Team Bish didn't really value their guy there, You sound like one of those coaches.
Jared knows what I think about him.
Hey,
he's a team guy. He's a team guy. He doesn't
start
care.
And play second base, and you get on campus, and he's 3rd in the depth chart and playing left field. So yeah, I see what Team Bish is doing there. That's
Jared knows. Jared knows what I think about him here. So, well, I'm going to go ahead and round out my outfield and take Kason Wells.
Okay, another speed guy, another guy that can hit from the left side, can really run. From Smithson Valley, signed with Texas A&M. A guy that really stood out during the summer. Just a lot of really good things to say about him, just with the bat. And one of those few guys you kind of look at and you're like, man, that guy can really hit. And he checks a lot of those boxes for sure. Tough here. You're kind of getting down to the unique parts of the list. I think I'm gonna, you got Blake Mitchell at catcher, so I can probably wait on catcher, although you got to take 2 of them. So I think I talked myself into taking one here. I'm going to go and select Deer Park's Dylan Lester from the 2023 class, committed to Oklahoma, plays for Hunter Pence Academy. I saw him up close during the fall, hit a couple of home runs, but the defensive ability behind the plate really stands out as well. He's athletic, kind of really well-rounded skill set, and a guy that I feel comfortable handling my pitching staff for sure. So I'm going to go get my first catcher because, needing 2 of those guys, got to lock in one of them pretty early on and get Dylan Lester to be my anchor there with my catchers.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go with a fan favorite, one of my guys from up here in the area. I'm going to take MJ So.
Okay.
Right,
okay. I think
one of my guys, just big time get for Team Bish. This guy's going to be this guy. I mean, I'm going to be able to do whatever I want with him. So, I don't know what you're thinking I'm doing here with my roster, but I've got some options now.
I know what you're doing is you're passing over guys like Jared Thomas, who you claim to love, and that's going to sting. That's really going to hurt when all of Waxahachie is voting for Team Dustin because you said you're going to take the guy and you just didn't do it. So that's a tough look for sure. But you're leaving me a lot of these older guys, and I'm going to capitalize on that here. I mentioned that Travis Cyclora might play third base for me. I'm going to leave him in the utility slot because he can just do everything at a really high level, and we'll figure it out. I'm going to select Jason Jones as my third baseman, and I'm going to plug him there in the middle of the lineup, and I'm going to have the best raw power and torque in the state with the bat, and with guys like Jet Williams and Jarrett Curtis and maybe Jared Thomas getting on base ahead of him. He's going to have a lot of RBI opportunities for sure. So, we're going to call the Hogs, the Omaha Hogs. I hope you show Team Dustin some love because he just selected Jason Jones, who could be your future third baseman if he doesn't sign with the pro team.
Okay. Well, it's a nice little infield you're getting there.
Yeah, sure is. Well, at this point, I'm like drafting the entire area code infield at this point.
Yeah. Well, what about the next year's group? I'm going to go now. I'm going to solidify the left side of my infield, and I'm going to take Travis Sanders as my third baseman.
Copper's Cove, a guy that I got my first look at this fall when he was playing with that Dodgers scout team. Really well-rounded skill set. I mean, that 2022 group of infielders is just, such a fun group. Does a lot of things at a high level. I think he's got the hand speed and the hand strength to turn around big time velocity and things like that. So really intriguing infield player that's going to be heavily scouted, signed with Texas Tech. So let me see if I can share the screen here and give our YouTube viewers a look at what's going on here. So you can kind of see so far, Team Dustin's got Dylan Lester, one of the catcher spots, Jared Thomas.
Apparently you can't be an infield, or you can't play in the field for Dustin if your name doesn't start with J.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Team J coming in strong. Jason Jones, Jet Williams, Jarrett Curtis, Travis Cyclora was my first pick, and then I've got Noah Bentley down there as my first pitcher right now. Of those, Cyclora can obviously throw as well. Here's a look at Team Drew, or excuse me, hashtag Team Bish. He went Blake Mitchell.
Look at you try some subtle strategy. Wow.
Travis Sanders at third, TJ Pompey from the 2023 class at short. And then his outfielder, he's got 3 already with Kendall George, Max Baloo, and Kason Wells. And then looking down there, he's got 3 pitchers already, and Justin Lampkin, Mason Bixby, and MJ Seau as well. So that's a look at how it shakes out so far. As we continue on here, I believe I am back on the clock again. You keep leaving me these older guys, which is fine. I'm just going to capitalize on that situation. I'm going to get another pitcher here. I'm going to go to Midland Lee, and I'm going to select Chase Shores, who signed with LSU. Big time sinker. The slider's starting to improve. I think if you look at like his pitch data and stuff like that, if you ever had access to it, you'd see probably a ton of horizontal movement both ways. And judging for some recent photos, it looks like he's added a noticeable amount of muscle as he starts to fill out through that 6'7", maybe even 6'8" frame. He's a tall guy. But for a guy his size, athletic on the mound, repeats the delivery. I think that he could probably sit comfortably in the mid-90s, flirt with the upper 90s when he bumps it up there. But if the slider starts coming on, this is a guy that's got a chance to be, this is a guy that's got a chance to be a day one MLB draft selection. I know he's a guy that scouts are going to be following very, very closely. So I'm going to go down and add Chase Shores to my pitcher group here with my my 9th round selection.
Okay. Well, I'm going to continue to get some versatility, and I'm going to take 2023 Braden Sharp, Baylor commit.
Oh, from the Woodlands, Braden Sharp. He's a true two-way guy from the sense that, like, I don't think we know what he's best at yet. I think you talk to some people and they see, he's getting stronger. He's really athletic, can run. The bat's probably going to be a standout thing. Then you look at the delivery, how athletic he is, how he repeats, the way the arm works and things like that. Like, man, he could be a really high upside left-handed pitcher as well. So that's a guy I'm really excited to see this high school season. As we were making our schedule, that district is just loaded with like the Woodlands, Oak Ridge, Grand Oaks. I mean, those guys play a monstrous schedule during the season, and certainly going to be some guys that I get some eyes on during the year. I'll take a sip of coffee there. I need it today for sure. So let me take a look at my team here real quick. What am I looking at here? Okay. A little thin in the outfield right now. I don't know if I'm going to go outfield. I'm going to go back to catcher. And I really like this guy. I think that he's got such an immense ceiling, and it just seems like he's getting better quickly, very, very rapidly. His skill is starting to get better, and the bat could be a really standout thing. And I'm going to go to Chisholm Trail, and I'm going to select 2023 catcher Jerson Martin, committed to Wichita State. When you watch him, it just screams upside with the bat. The skill is really improving behind the plate. He's a good athlete back there. He's a guy that, if he keeps getting better at the rate he has as a catcher, I think he can stick there. But feel really good about getting him there as my second catcher on the list here.
So you're going with Martin as a catcher. Okay. Well, That said, I'm going to go back to the mound, and I think I'm going to take the guy who I think might be the best pitcher in Texas in the 2022 class, and I'm going to go Cole Phillips.
Okay, Cole Phillips off the board there from Bernie, right-handed pitcher. I was writing up a story last night just about how we typically see a pitcher catch helium, with his senior season and just fly up draft boards and become that dude. I saw with JJ Goss a couple of years ago, Justin Lang recently as well. Those guys that kind of don't emerge from like completely nowhere, but guys that are heavily scouted and they just make that jump. And he's certainly one of those guys that can make that jump. I've seen some recent video of him, touching 97 miles an hour, looks bigger, noticeably more physical. The way the ball is coming out of his hands looks really, really promising. So yeah, he's certainly got a chance to emerge as one of the best pitchers, the best pitcher in the state in that 2022 class. But I'm going to go to the outfield, and I'm going to pair, Jarrett Curtis flying around in my outfield with another guy that can absolutely fly. I'm going to go with Terrace Murray from Prestonwood Christian Academy in the 2023 class, committed to Oklahoma. A gamer. You watch him, it just everything stands out in the game. It just comes naturally to him. You watch him in batting practice and warm-ups, like, okay, I'm interested. And the game starts, it's like bam. He's a different guy when it's time to play. But I think he's a plus athlete. He had some Junior Olympics youth track background, so can really run. He's got some really good tape as a running back as well on the gridiron. So toolsy, high upside, but another guy that can really, really run in my outfield. I'm going to select Terrace Murray in the 11th round of the first ever 5-tool baseball high school player draft from the Texas player pool.
Okay, well, I'm going to go grab a gigantic bat, another freak athlete with Jace Laviolette.
Okay. Jace is a big time athlete. The first time I saw him, I was just stunned at how well he moved around the outfield. You don't typically see guys that are 6'5" and just glide around center field like that. But I think his basketball background really shows, both in the run, the swing, and also especially in the outfield as he's tracking things down there as well. So a fun guy to follow because I think that there's some really big time potential there to emerge as one of the better outfielders in the nation with his skill set. So let me take a look at my roster here. Let's see, a couple outfield, a couple utility. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick it to Team Bish again here because I'm going to go to Rockwall in the 2023 class. And I'm going to select Braden Randall and put him in one of my utility spots because this guy is just the ultimate gamer in either class. When it comes time to compete and win and make plays on a baseball field, it's Braden Randall. And here we go with Team Bish again. What round is this? Is my 12th round selection. Oof. That's going to be tough for Team Bish to explain to Rockwall when he goes by there soon, that he didn't select Braden Randall and left him there on the board for 12 rounds.
I was playing the board. Well, I mean, look, you're not even going to start him. So, I was playing the board. The board.
Well, you didn't even draft him, so you can't even play him. That would be illegal. So at least I've got him on the roster for sure. But a guy that can just play all over the infield, but man, I mean, he's going to rub off positively on the rest of my roster. We're going to compete at a really high level, so I'm glad to lock Braden Randall in there to one of my utility spots for sure.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that one hurts, doesn't it?
All right. Well, you know what? I took a lot of versatility so far, and with that versatility comes the ability to do this. So I may flip our boy Travis Sanders over to that second base spot. Okay. And I think I'm going to take Jalen Flores.
Okay.
Him at third.
Jalen Flores signed with the University of Texas. What is this? He's pronounced it Brandis. high school.
Brandeis. Wow.
Down in the San Antonio area. Hey, I didn't pick him. So he's that's one of the first scrimmages I think I'm gonna go see is when they play Smithson Valley in February. You get to see some Cason Wells and some Jalen Flores. Although if they're trying to get votes for Team Bish, I'm gonna be like, hey, might have to kill you in this report here if you beat me and cost me a hoodie, because you're getting votes for Team Bish. But yeah, Jalen Flores, another one of those really talented, high upside infielders in the state for the 2022 class. A guy that's got a chance to be a big time player and a guy that's going to be heavily scouted for sure. See if he actually ends up in college. Or if he's going to be a guy that gets selected high in the MLB draft. So let me see here. I'm going to get down to the part where you got to think of roster construction and how you're going to make it work and things like that.
See, this is stuff I've already thought through. So I have backup
plans. Well, that's
plans.
fine, but you thought you're going to get Jared Thomas and Braden Randall, and you got neither. And that's going to be tough to spin in those fan bases for sure. But I'm going to go back on the mound, and I'm going to take a guy that I think by the end of the year, we might be talking about him in the conversation as the best pitcher in the state of Texas. I'm going to go to College Station and select Blake Binder up, signed with Texas A&M. Big time athlete. I've got some recent intel on him that he's made some gains. I think that he ended the summer well. He looked solid in the fall, but it's just like at that size, 6'5", really good athlete, the son of two former D1 athletes. You can see in the delivery, you can see in the way the arm works. It's a pretty simple delivery for a guy his size. The breaking ball really flashes. He's already been in the low 90s. I think that we could be, there's another guy on this list too that you could be talking about in that same area, but I think that we could be talking about him in that tier of guys with the Cole Phillips and the Chase Shores and the Justin Lampkins, who those three guys are definitely in their own tier right now. But I think Blake Binderup is one of those guys that could join them on that list. So I'm going to go down there and lock in another pitcher there. My third pitcher, not counting Travis Cyclora, who's lurking in my bullpen. And I'm going to put Blake Binderup in here as my 13th round selection.
Okay.
So we've got 6 picks left. And 2 of those picks, one will be from our just missed list, either for the 2022 or 2023 class, or the follow list. So one guy from the just missed, one guy from the follow, and then a few other roster spots to fill out here. So we're getting down to the wire here. It's definitely not going the way I thought it would, but I mean, it's a fun exercise because you see how just really deep both these classes are. Of really talented and exciting.
I think we got one more pick then that you said.
Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 7. Okay, 7 picks. Yeah. So we get up to 20.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take a monster bat here.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with Jaquay Stewart.
Ooh, I like that one. That one hurts a little bit. That's kind of a return in the Jared Thomas favor there. But I think that he's got a chance to be the best left-handed hitter in that 2023 class. Every time I saw him, he just raked. Wood bat, metal bat, whatever it was. The dude can just flat out hit. So I see what you're doing there, kind of loading up on Sinton. Getting some of those guys as well. So yeah, let's hope Sinton their internet struggles for the next 24 hours and they just can't vote for some reason, or I might be in a little bit of trouble for sure. But certainly a nice pick there. So yeah, that's a tough one. I kind of had eyes on him as a guy that could slide into my utility spot.
Sure. Then I mean, yeah, but you just took so long to take him.
When you have the opportunity to select Jared Thomas because the guy that says he's going to take him doesn't take him, I mean, you got to take him and put him in that first base slot there. So just have to adapt on the fly, is what it is. Let's see here. Well, I think I'm going to go back to the outfield, and I'm going to go big time athlete again. I'm going to go Brenner Cox from Rock Hill, signed with the University of Texas. Man, if I create a football team, I might be in some business here with Brenner Cox and Terrace Murray as two of my skill guys. But big time athlete, can run, can throw, can hit. He's got some juice with the bat as well. Man, my outfield is going to cover some ground. I'm really excited about that. So I'm going to go ahead and lock in Brenner Cox here as my 14th round selection to give me 3 outfielders: Jarrett Curtis, Terrace Murray, and Brenner Cox so far.
Okay. If you're going to go that route, I think I'm going to take a utility guy here. I think I'm going to go with a guy who can do it on the mound, do it at the plate.
Okay.
Cade McGarr.
Okay. Yeah, another one. I mean, the pool of infielders, especially in 2022, is so deep. I mean, all those guys are so good. I remember when we were making this list and talking about it, we were like, yeah, every big time program in the region basically got to pick their guy because there were so many of them. So a guy that I'm high on. I think that, with the words projection and potential might fit him better than maybe any other infielder in the 2022 class, because of the plays receiver in the fall for the football team, just as a really good athlete. I think that's just kind of scratching the surface as he grows into his body and things like that. So that's a nice selection there for sure. Let me look at my roster here. Let's see what we're working with. Outfield's still open. Util, another pitcher as well. Oh, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and fill in another one of my utility spots. He's not a true two-way guy, but I've seen him pitch, and if I needed it in a pinch, I think he'd give it to me. But I'm going to select Carson Queck from the Woodlands Christian, primarily an outfielder, a guy that could really run. I've seen as fast as 4.2 down the line. I've seen him hit homers. The outfield arm velocity, it was in the low 90s at the Hunter Pence Scout Day. A guy that's just got a lot of really good standout tools. And I think it's going to be a guy that's heavily scouted this fall. So I'm going to get Carson Queck here. And you know what? I'm actually going to put him in my outfield spot, my 4th outfield spot there. Another guy that I'm just loaded up on guys that can fly around the diamond in the outfield. So any fly ball you hit to my team is an out that we've established with all these athletes I've got out there.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go with another versatile guy, and I'm going to take a guy that can do it on the mound and the plate. I'm going to go with Trenton Shaw.
Trenton Shaw, big Trenton Shaw we saw in the fall with that Blue Jays scout team. Lost some of his summer, I believe was like a Jones fracture injury in his foot. But you think physical lefties that throw hard, you think of Trenton Shaw as a guy that's definitely got an imposing presence on the mound for sure. So, from the left side, bringing that heat, that's a guy that's going to be a fun guy to follow this season for sure. And I know a guy that I'm sure scouts are going to be paying really close attention to. Let's see here. Got a DH spot open, utility spot open, the pitching spot open. I wonder which way we go here. Let's see. I'm going to go, you got me in the mood with some lefties. I'm going to go back up to that DFW area for a lefty. I'm going to select TCU signee from McKinney Boyd, Ben Abelt. Just strike throwing, unique look, kind of gets some funk with the delivery, adds a little bit of deception. Big time performer in our 5-tool collegiate league this summer, just racking up the strikeouts with a good strikeout to walk ratio. I think he can give me some length. I think he can give me some innings. I think he can give me a unique look. So I'm going to select Ben Abelt there in the 16th round as my 4th pitcher.
Interesting. Okay, well, I'm going to go to a guy that I think is going to have an absolute monster year. He's a team leader. He'll be a great clubhouse guy that I can bring in to run. He's got some power. I've always said he reminds me of Hunter Pence. I'm going with 2023 right or outfielder Dylan Schlegel.
Okay, you're going the high upside. Dylan Schlegel can really run, starting to emerge with the bat. There's some pop coming off there as well. So I see
This guy, he's going to have a monster year.
You're following my trend of trying to select really athletic outfielders that can run. That's just an admission that you love my draft, which is fine. Yeah, Dylan Schlegel, a guy that I am also high on as well. So a solid pick there, and I believe that was your 17th round pick.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go and see here. So I've got DH open, utility open, and that is it before we get to the just missed in the follow list. Whew, man. Decisions. Let's see here. Well. Where are we gonna go? I'm gonna go. Let's see. I'm gonna grab a really interesting two-way player. You get me thinking about that 2023 class. I'm going to take a guy that I think is going to have a monstrous season, that I think that people are kind of sleeping on a little bit. Neomara Ochoa Acosta from Galena Park.
I almost wrote this down on a card because I went back and I listened to a bunch of our breakdowns of these guys. And poor Mary, I made her listen to the podcast on the way back from Austin on our drive from coming back from a wedding on Sunday morning. But I told her, I right when you started talking about him, I said, Dustin is going to take this guy 100%. I love it. It's a great pick.
And we both kept asking ourselves about him, like, is he too low on our list? We had him ranked, let me follow him down here. I believe
36.
36, sorry. Yeah, 36, you're right. And I'm thinking, like, you start listing out what he's done. We've seen him at the 92 at one of our scout days. I've seen him hit absolute bombs with a wood bat, like an entire weekend. He's physical, 6'3", maybe 6'4". I mean, the way the hands work, it's like, okay, if you start listing all these tools, maybe it sounds like you're describing a guy that's closer to 10 in this state than 40 in this state. But we'll see how he performs this season. But man, and he's young enough to be in the 2024 class. So he's for a 2023 player, he's maybe almost a year younger than a lot of these guys. So I think that he fits the mold of a utility player along with a guy like Cyclora, because they could get on the mound and provide you something that well is there, but they have the big time power bat. So yeah, he is my 17th round pick for team Dustin. So now you're up on the clock for round 18. All I've got left is my DH spot and then the just missed in the follow. Let's see what you're working with here. We can share the screen real quick so our YouTube video viewers get an opportunity to see it here. So here's Team Bish. He's got Blake Mitchell and then an open catcher slot there. Stewart, Sanders, Flores, Pompey, Kendall George, Max Blue, Casey Wells, Jace Laviolette, Trenton Shaw, Braden Sharp, Cade McGarr, Dylan Schlegel, and then on the mound, 4 arms, Justin Lampkin, Mason Bixby, MJ Seout, and Cole Phillips. A lot of
that's a good looking roster.
A lot of velocity from the right side there. Go over to Team Dustin. He's got Dylan Lester and Jerson Martin, both from the 2023 class at catcher. Jared Thomas from Waxahachie at first. Justin Vassos at second, continuing the trend of infielders, starting with the letter J. Jason Jones at third base, Jet Williams at short, and then the outfield, Jarrett Curtis, Terrace Murray, Brenner Cox, Carson Quack. I've got that DH spot open right now. And then at utility, I've got Travis Cyclora, Braden Randall, and Neomara Ochoa Acosta. And then on mound, I've got Noah Bentley, Chase Shores, Blake Binderup, and Ben Abdelt. And then I've got the just missed in the follow list to fill out there. So with your 18th round selection, who are you taking?
I'm going to go, you always accuse me of being a homer. So I'm going to
fairly.
I'm going to stay here in town.
Okay.
And I'm going to take Mac Rose.
Okay,
Mac my Rose. Second catcher. So in Mac, I'm getting a guy that can catch, he can pitch, he can hit, and I happen to know his S2 scores. So I feel pretty good.
Oh, so you're cheating?
No.
So you're acquiring information that wasn't made available to the entire teams. That information has to be disclosed pre-draft.
Hey, if you showed up to what we do all the time, then you might know.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna take my guy, Mac Rose.
I'll remember that when I'm actually paying attention to the city of Houston this spring, and you're just brushing them off to the side again like you did last podcast. So that's okay.
Wow.
That's okay. That's okay. Houston won't forget that.
I see what you're doing here.
Houston will not
see what you're
that
doing
for
here.
Sure.
Okay.
Huh. All right. Well, I'm going to fill in my DH slot with, I've already got, I think, the best, combination of raw power and torque from the right side in the 2022 class. I'm going to do it in the 2023 class too, and put this big bat, at the DH spot and take Nick Sanders from La Vega in the Waco area, committed to the University of Texas. Plays catcher right now, probably going to be a corner guy in the future, but I'm drafting the bat here. I mean, the bat has a chance to just mash bombs at whatever level he plays. So I'm going to put him in there and give my very, very athletic and fast lineup another big, powerful presence there. Nick Sanders and Jason Jones. That's some bat speed and some power there from the right side. So I'm gonna put him in there.
Well, and Jerson Martin too.
Yeah, Jerson. Yeah, absolutely. Those guys are I mean, they don't get cheated either. That's one of the reasons why they're fun to watch. And Ochoa Acosta, although he's a little bit more under control, but he's got some of that big power from the right side as well. So that's my 18th round selection. Now we get to the point where we're selecting guys one apiece from either 2022 or 2023 just missed lists, or the 2022 or 2023 follow lists. So Drew, go ahead and lead us off there with your 19th round selection.
I'm going to stay in town here, stay home.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with the 2023 arm that is going to have a monster year.
Oh, I know where you're going with this one. And
I'm going to go with Trevor Tranberg from defending state champion Heath Hawks.
Okay, that's a guy that we're both really high on, and fairly so. And you talk to some people, around that area and around that program. I mean, understandably, some people are really fired up, and it's kind of an embarrassment of riches for that program that they have all those arms. And it's kind of like, well, we'll just figure out the roles, because that guy is a district ace at a lot of other places for sure. So a nice selection there, a guy that I think people are going to be talking a lot about, as the high school season gets going. So I'm going to go to the 2022 class, and if I'm taking a guy and like just the definition of what a physical athletic player looks like, I mean, this is the guy, because you watch him swing the bat with the bat speed and he looks like the Hulk, in the batting cage. I'm going to take Christian Bates from the 2022 class, outfielder, from Prestonwood Christian Academy, that, he can fly around the diamond. He can drive the ball out of the yard. I think that he's somebody that if the performance in game starts to really match the tools, you're going to see a lot more scouts showing up to his games this summer. This spring. So I'm going to go ahead and select Christian Bates there from the just missed list in the 2022 class as my 19th round selection.
Okay. Well, I'm going to grab another arm here. Never have too much pitching, and this is a guy that's going to win a lot of games for a really good team.
Okay.
And we've talked about him reminding us of one current big leaguer, Dylan Peters. I'm going to go with left-handed pitcher Aiden Lamarr from Rock Hill.
Oh yeah, it's one of your guys.
One of my guys. I
looked at the wrong sheet. I misspoke. Christian Bates is from our follow list in 2022. So I need to select a guy from the just missed list, but pick still stands. But yeah, Aiden Lamarr, man, that's a guy that seems like coming out of the fall had a little bit more helium attached to his name for sure. Is going to be a guy that I think a lot of people are paying close attention to. Let me see here where I want to go in the kind of want to arm here in the 2022 class. Last pick. Let's see here. What arm do I want to take from 2022 on the just missed? Oh, last selection. Make it a good one. I'm going to actually go, and I'm going to add a big velocity upside guy. I'm going to take Lucas Davenport, right-handed pitcher from Prosper that's signed with Texas A&M. We've already seen him in the low 90s. I think there's a chance he makes another jump there. It's kind of bummed we didn't get to see him pitch for that Blue Jays scout team. He was with the team. I think he was kind of saving up and building up for later that fall, probably for Jupiter. But Lucas Davenport, I'm going to take a shot with the upside there and add another big time velocity, physical presence to my pitching staff. And that's how I'm going to wrap up Team Dustin.
You know what? I'm gonna propose.
Are you already trying to trade because you like my roster so much?
No, but I want to add one. I want to add one more guy to our roster.
You're gonna add a 21st player to the roster?
I am. I have a guy that I love, and I'll give you one more pick if you'll give me one more pick.
If you like, what is the what pool are we picking from?
Whoever you want.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll give you another pick then. That's fine. I can find another champion to select here.
Speaking of I'm going to go with a guy that I know is a winner.
Okay.
And he is going to be an absolute monster now. And he's going to go to college and be an even bigger winner there if he's not drafted high enough.
Okay.
I'm going to go with my guy, Jaden Duplantier.
Oh, I like that. You and I are both big fans of him. Really improved a lot from 2020 to 2021. The arrow is really pointing up, and we know what kind of person, competitor, performer his older brother is at the University of Texas. So you can definitely bank on that sort of mental makeup making its way wherever he goes, whether it's professionally or the college route. But yeah, that group of infielders in 2022, a fun list of guys.
I got guys in my infield that can pitch and move around, and I got to have my versatility is I got a lot of options.
You do have a lot of options. But you don't have a bunch of badasses named with that start with the letter J like I have. So
I just took Jaden Duplantier.
Yeah, I know you're trying to follow my draft
Flores plan. And
you're
Jaquay Stewart.
You're trying to follow
Jace
my draft
Laviolette.
plan. Trying to follow my draft plan. That's fine. I'm gonna get an arm, and it's gonna be unfair when I have a lead late in the game and I've got Travis Cyclora lurking back there in the bullpen.
Mhm.
And I'm going to go ahead and select area code's most outstanding pitcher from this past summer, Aldi MacArthur right-handed pitcher Ryan Dollar. Big time strikeout stuff. Just racked up the swing and misses this summer. Punched out 11 guys in 4.2 innings at area code. That's the best of the best competition that he faced there. Signed with the University of Houston. Yeah, there's look at the delivery, there's some relief risk there, but he wouldn't be the first guy that has that kind of delivery that holds his stuff and is a stud starting pitcher as well. So I'm really excited to watch this guy pitch this season. I've already written down some of his scheduled starts in our scheduled document. So Ryan Dollar is going to be my final selection, and man, good luck to your hitters. They're going to need it for sure. With the
and then you look at my lineup and wonder how you think you're going to have a lead.
I mean, I'm going to have a lead. I've got Funk from the left side. I've got, big time sinker from the right side out of a 6'8" frame. I've got plus athlete, just ultra competitor, high upside, big physical athlete. And then I've just got a ton of big time velocity lurking in the bullpen. Like, this is a very, very balanced squad. I think the people are going to appreciate the balance that this group has.
All right. Tell me the one pick that you had penciled in that I took. That you were just
I was gonna take Phillips right after you took him. Like that round, I was gonna take Colt Phillips. Like, I'd already had it in my head. Like, I was gonna take him, and part of it's because I wrote about him last night, so I was kind of looking at some video and stuff like that. But like you said, he's got a real chance to become the best pitcher in the state. You've got two of those guys, Lampion and Phillips, and I've got the other one in Shores, and I think Binderup is going to join that mix. But he's not quite at that tier yet. But Phillips was the guy that one hurt, and I was definitely going to go that route and lock him in there as another one of my pitchers.
Yeah, well, you ripped my heart out with Braden. That's my guy. I was just playing the board. It was I thought I was just playing the board. I wasn't. God, it's my guy.
That's going to be a tough one. Like, you're going to have to live with this the rest of your life.
Hey, or until next year. Maybe I'll take him 1-1 next year.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, next year. We'll have to discuss, like, if our 2023 guys carry over to the following year. Like,
well, okay, I'll take that right now.
Oh no, yeah, because then I would have just loaded up on 23s. Yeah, that's
okay. Yeah. I'll take that right now.
Everybody will get to enter the transfer portal, and then they'll be available to be selected again on either team for the next seaon. But this is really fun.
Right,
I'll share the screen while you talk.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and make a case for my team.
Okay.
Right? Why don't you flip on over to my lineup here?
Hashtag Team Bish.
Okay.
With the most predictable first 1-1 pick in the world.
Yeah, well, for a reason. That's because it's the best option. So I've got arguably the best player in the 23 class. In the country, that is, for those out there listening. I've got a versatile second catcher that can pitch, catch, play first, hit left-handed. I mean, I like that pick. I got an infield with Jaquay Stewart, who may, like you have said, may be the best left-handed hitter in the state.
Yeah. I love him.
We've got versatile guy who could play anywhere on the infield, tech commit Travis Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
We got Texas commit Jalen Flores. I mean, I got like 5 guys that can play shortstop on my team at an elite level. We know that.
You do.
Then we've got TJ Pompey, who's one of the easiest. It's just so easy.
Oh, do you think Jalen Flores? Do you think Jalen Flores is going to be okay playing third on your team?
Hey, I got character guys that want to win. Okay, so and you've got a handful of guys on your team that want to be on my team.
You're taking a 23 and playing him over some 20. Ooh, that could create some drama on Team Bish.
Hey, these guys are about winning. Okay. And we'll see. That's how this team was built, and it's how they'll be coached to win. Then we move to the outfield. We've got Kendall George, who can fly. Yes, we've got Max Ballou, who you said might be the best hitter in the state.
Correct.
We've got Cason Wells, A&M commit, who is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. We've got another A&M commit, Jace Laviolette, who may have as much power as anybody in the 22 class. We've got a guy that can do it on the mound, at the plate, Trenton Shaw. We've got Braden Sharp, number 5 ranked guy in the 23 class, who he's so good at both sides of the ball, we don't know what he is. Right?
Correct. Yeah.
Then we've got another guy who can play shortstop, is going to Tech as a Tech commit, and can pitch, and his dad's a coach. So as a bonus here, I've got, let's see, at least 2 high school coaches that will be helping our staff on the side.
Because you need the help.
Huh? Hey, you need the help? I don't know it all. Okay. Listen. I let experts do their thing.
Do you think Mac Rose's dad's going to coach when he knows Braden Randall's on the other team?
Yes.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're not even probably going to start him, so it doesn't really matter. Then we've got Dylan Schlegel, who I've said forever reminds me of Hunter Pence. The guy is going to go off this year. Everything I see of him, he's going to go off. We've got a guy who can do it all in the infield. Another just elite infielder, Jaden Duplantier. I mean, the guy wins. He's got a brother that's been around it, that does it. You know, Dre's coming off surgery, going to have a big role in the UT pitching staff this year. We've got the guy that you think is the best pitcher in the state in 2022, Justin Lampkin, right? Yeah. You know, I mean, rattle off his numbers for me?
Yeah, okay. His playoff ERA was like 0.3 or something.
Yeah, it starts with a 0. It starts with a 0. So enough said. We've got the guy, Mason Bixby, who you think might push to be the number 1 pitcher next year. Right. In 23. That's what, those are your words, not mine. Correct. We've got another guy, MJ So, who, I mean, the guy can play short, the guy can play second, the guy can pitch. I mean, we've seen him up to 97 already. You know, Mr. Personality, big things happen when he's in the game. And then we've got Cole Phillips, another guy that you just said might be the best pitcher. I mean, how many best pitchers in the state can I have on one team?
I just appreciate that you listened to me. That's good.
I mean, you know, you know what you're talking about. And then
I know that's why my team was drafted extremely well. I know.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's probably the second best team out there. Okay. And then you've got big arms out of Trevor Tranberg from Heath and lefty Aiden Lamarr. Like go. I mean, like the numbers that Aiden Lamarr is going to put up this year for Rock Hill are silly. They're silly, right? I mean, it's just bottom line. So, I mean, you know, we might as well take, I mean, this might already be settled. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we're going to go
take a look at my team here. The championship squad here. Especially because I got to cash in on some guys that Drew just left hanging out there for me that didn't draft. Catcher Dylan Lester, Jerson Martin, like high upside, impact from the right side with the bat. Good athletes behind the plate. I mean, check a lot of boxes there. I cannot believe Jared Thomas was sitting there for me in the 6th round. Drew passed him over 6 times and allowed allowed me to select him there.
Jared knows I love him.
How do you describe him? High character guy, intangible.
He's a winner.
Instincts.
Yes. Yeah.
Could be the best pure hitter from the left side in the state. As my first baseman there. Second base, Justin Vassos. Another big time athlete, can really, really run, can impact the ball from the right side. And then I get the best combination of raw power, torque, bat speed from the right side in the 22 class and Jason Jones. And then I get the best player in the state for 2022, Jet Williams, as my I'm kind of racking up the Rockwall guys here, as my shortstop there.
You have two and I have two. You have one from Heath, I have one from Heath, you have one from Rockwall, and I have one from Rockwall.
Yeah, well, you don't have Braden Randall. And then in my outfield, I just loaded up on the athleticism, and the speed. Jarrett Curtis, Terrace Murray, Brenner Cox, and Carson Queck. I mean, those guys can all run, cover ground. They can all hit the ball out of the yard as well. Really like my outfield. The DH spot, I went and got another big time physical power bat speed, raw power from the right side, Nick Sanders. And then utility, I mean, man, you look at these utility players. Travis Cyclora, I can play him at third. I can play him at short. I can come out of the bullpen, close a game, throwing 97 miles an hour. Braden Randall, Mr. Do-It-All winner.
I want it. Okay, little dirty secret, and I'm gonna.
I thought you were gonna take Cyclora first, is what I thought.
Well, here's the deal. So I went in with somebody, no names can be mentioned, but somebody that would know and I knew I was taking Mitchell, and I was trying to put some doubt into your mind that Cyclora might be hurt. He is not hurt. There's nothing wrong with Travis Cyclora, but I tried to make you think he was in hopes of grabbing him with that second. Yeah, I just wanted a little bit of. I thought you might pivot. I thought you might pivot to Lampkin, but my plan failed. But great pick. I love Travis. Travis's big time arm reminds me of Tanner Witt. He's the Tanner Witt.
Yeah, I think that's a
lot of similarities.
That's a great comparison. Braden Randall in the
for the record round. Reminder, re-saying it again for anyone out there, Travis is not hurt, but I did try to trick Dustin into thinking he was, just so he wouldn't take him with
messages and all this stuff, and trying to throw me off. And I'd love to know your reaction when I told you, is I don't care. So I'm taking them. And then Neomar Ochoa Costa from Galena Park as my third utility guy there. And then my pitchers, Noah Bentley from Salina, OU commit, big time athlete and competitor. I know that's one of the ones that I had. I thought I could get away one or two more rounds. He's I think he's a stud. He's a stud. I mean, like I said, Skip thinks he might be Cade Cavalli. That's all I need to hear. I was sad on that one. I thought I might slide him into my third slot, but he's your first. So yeah, he is my first because he's gonna set the tone. And then I've got Chase Shores there. Could be in the mix as the best pitcher in the state. I mean, he is in the mix as the best pitcher in the state 2022. Could become that guy with a strong senior season. Blake Binderup, who I'm really high on his upside. Ben Abelt, just the unique look from the left side, big time track record of performance. Ryan Dollar, most outstanding pitcher from area code. Ton of strikeouts, 11 strikeouts in 4 2/3 innings against the best competition in the nation at the high school level. And then Christian Bates, I don't know if you've seen this guy, his film recently. Can you imagine looking like that, at that age, or just ever in your life? The guy looks like a Greek god.
I cannot.
I will never know what that feels like, have that sort of strength and physicality and oof. And then my final pick, wrapping it up here, with Lucas Davenport. Lucas Davenport was my 20th pick. My final pick was Ryan Dollar, but Lucas Davenport, big velocity guy from Prosper, a right-handed pitcher, physical guy in the 2022 class for sure.
So I think I see a pattern here. Okay. And this is, and this
champions?
Is, no, runners up. But so, and this is why I thought I was going to get away with Braden and Jared a little bit later. Your lineup is very projectable, right? There's a lot of projection in there, right? Well, my team,
I don't know if my team, fair.
But it's right.
No, I don't.
May not be fair, but it's right.
I don't know if that's right.
Here's the thing: like my team is full of guys that have done it, do it, and will do it. So, you know, like you have to dream on your team a little bit. Like, oh yeah, I mean, like you've got some big time.
On Jet Williams, Jared Thomas, Jason Jones.
So
Noah.
That's where you came off of your strategy a little bit. Like you like the high upside guys, right? And that's your pro background.
My first pitcher was Noah Bentley. Like, if I were to like the high upside guys, I would have taken somebody else. I took the performer. I took the big time performer.
Well, because I already had
it at every single level.
But you wouldn't have taken him over probably 3 or 4 of my guys. So I took him in the 4th round. Okay. Well, just looking at it by position group,
you took Mason Bixby before you took Noah Bentley, and you're trying to accuse me of siding with the only high upside guys.
You yourself,
you see, you have it. The YouTube viewers can see the grin on your face because they know I caught you right now. Like you tried to throw me off the Travis Cyclora scent, which you failed to do.
No.
Yeah, you can't deny. Yeah, okay. You tried to do that. You tried to load up on Blake Mitchell and Travis Cyclora, and you failed.
You know that if you had the first pick, you would have taken the guy that I ended up with.
No, I would have taken Cyclora.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not buying that. Not for 1 second.
Cyclora.
Yeah, guys, do you hear? I hope the listeners see and listen and hear right through this. So, yeah, I mean, this should be interesting. You know, I mean, it should be a landslide.
No,
a landslide.
Yeah, maybe my way. The only concern I have is that you acquired multiple Sinton players, and that bothers me. But I did dip into Rockwall, so you're not going to get the Rockwall vote for sure. I had to make sure I get a presence there because it's a phenomenal area for baseball. It kind of reminds me of growing up in, when I grew up in Spring in the Klein area, like when Klein Oak and Spring and the Woodlands were just like unbelievable every single year. And that's what Rockwall's turned into. So definitely had to make sure I get some of that talent pool onto my roster as well. But hey, gotta have those votes. Yeah. Also, gotta think of this as like,
wow. So you're admitting you're picking. You're not even picking off of what you think the best team. You're trying to pick because of Twitter followers.
No.
Wow. You just said it.
That's not why. No. Look, you didn't select Braden Randall and Jared Thomas, and you claim those are your boys. Like, you're gonna have to live with that.
They are. I'm sorry.
6th round for Jared Thomas, 12th round for Braden Randall. Oh man, I can't wait until Twitter sees the hashtag Team Bish roster and they're going down the list. And poor Jared Thomas is gonna be going down the list, and Drew told me how much he's going to draft me in the 1st round and I'm going to be his guy. And why aren't I on the roster here? And same thing with Braden. Braden Randall's going to go down that list and like, oh my gosh, Team Dustin got me in the 12th round. Drew told me he was going to take me in before the 4th round was over.
No, he didn't. He didn't do that. And I was playing the board. I thought, I had him penciled in as my starting. I did. It was a bad calculation. You stole them from me.
Well, okay. We this was a lot of fun. I hope that people have as much fun with listening to this and have as much fun with this process as we did for sure. And I'm already looking forward to the college version of this with Kendall next Tuesday, a week from today. We'll knock that out as well. So if you want to see this stuff in written form, Drew and I plan to, publish our teams on 5tool.org and kind of add some commentary to it. So you can kind of have that written version component to the podcast and the YouTube video as well. So I've never shared my screen before on Zoom. I hope that comes across on YouTube the way I wanted it to, for sure. But really fun exercise. It gets me so excited about the upcoming high school season going through here. And man, the state is just, it's just such a great state for baseball talent, with the depth, the athleticism, the competitors, the two sport guys, the high upside guys, the gamers, the performers. I mean, there's just something for everybody in the state with the 2022 and 2023 classes as well. And there's so many guys, I had a hard time. I mean, Brandon Arvidsson was a guy I wanted to pick, or some of these other guys.
Tough.
Like
it's tough.
It's really tough for sure.
You could make a legitimate third team that could have a chance against our two teams with guys that are not on the list. But
for sure.
It's tough. Tough.
So again, we'll publish the voting from the 5tool main account this evening, probably around 7 p.m. ish or things like that. The podcast will probably be out at its typical time, which is usually around 4-ish in the afternoon. But use those hashtags, hashtag Team Dustin, hashtag Team Bish. Have fun with this, share it. Please vote. And we're probably way too competitive for this than we need to be, but we both want to win. But really, it's just, we want to create a fun way for people to engage with the content and kind of think about the players in the state of Texas and things like that. And I think this was a unique and fun way to go about knocking out a podcast. So you'll be able to see this video on our YouTube channel, 5tool Baseball on YouTube, obviously Apple Podcasts, Podbean, wherever you consume podcasts, you'll be able to download this episode 39, I believe. And I think this will get us over the 12,000 download mark. So thank you again to everybody that tunes in and listens. We really, really appreciate it as we've slowly started to grow this thing, and really exceeded the reach that I expected initially when we started doing this podcast. So again, 5tool Twitter account later on to get that vote in. I think the voting will be up for 24 hours, maybe a little bit longer. We'll see. But get on there, vote, share it, leave us some feedback, who you think is going to win with those hashtags and things like that. But really just thanks for listening and tuning in, and we really appreciate the support. So any last words, Drew, before we wrap this thing up? I heard Jack screaming in the background, so time for me to tag in.
I'm just looking forward to my new hoodie that I will be wearing a shirt under.
Yeah, at least we can agree on that. Like, who doesn't wear shirts under hoodies?
I don't know.
It's
You're
not a jacket.
Psychopath.
It's not
a
psychopath.
Jacket.
Thank you, Cherie. I'm wearing one of my my 5tool. Yeah, we're repping the gear today, and I wore my S2 cognition hat because I needed my brain to try to process as best as it was able to, which is typically.
Well, I think your scores may have been revealed by your team.
Yeah, we'll see about that. But speaking of scores, did you see the tweet, the Joe Burrow S2 score that S2 tweeted out?
I mean,
oh my gosh,
it's amazing. It's insane.
It's like, that is a fantastic example of why that technology is so amazing, but why it matters, like, because that's exactly who he is on the football field.
I listened to multiple, in the last 48 hours, multiple podcasts of NFL guys losing their mind and debating over how is this guy so good? His arm is okay. How do I explain it? And all
it is.
And
there's the explanation.
There you go.
Yeah, that explains it for sure. So, all right, let's wrap this thing up. Thanks for tuning in and listening to our first ever 5tool State of Texas high school player draft. We ended up selecting 21 players a piece from the 2022 and 2023 classes. Again, we'll publish kind of the written component to this on 5tool.org at some point. But please do vote, leave us some feedback, have some fun with this, share it, send it to your friends, whatever. We really appreciate it for sure. So until we talk to y'all next time, have a good week. Take care.